Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, June 9, 2022. A disciplinary subcommittee of the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, JADCO Board, is being established to carry out an investigation and take appropriate action after a reported procedural failure cost the country an under-20 relay world record. At the April Carifta Games inside the National Stadium, the quartet of Serena Cole, Tina Clayton, Brianna Liston, and Tia Clayton ran a world record-breaking time of 42.58 seconds to win the under-20 4x100 meter relay. But World Athletics has not ratified the record-breaking time because one of the four runners was not drug tested at the completion of the race on April 17. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, says it's a situation that must never recur.
As Minister, I offer my sincere apology to the young athletes affected by this unfortunate set of circumstances for which there must be consequences and there must be sanctions.
The sport minister was delivering her contribution to the 2022-2023 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Wednesday. She says a report from the JADCO chairman found that the failure to test one member of the relay team was because of an apparent existing best practice at the commission not to test an athlete twice within 24 hours of competition. But this appears to be instructions originating at least from the time of the agency's previous executive director and is not contained in any JADCO or WADA rules nor any international standard for testing. In addition to the disciplinary subcommittee being established, the minister says all JADCO technical services staff are to undergo compulsory retraining on the rules of competition governing the major sporting organizations. JADCO is also to review all procedures or protocols that would require an event organizer or body requesting in-competition testing to provide rules as well as specific and timely instructions prior to the event. In other news from Minister Olivia Grange's sectoral presentation, a sexual harassment tribunal is being set up to investigate and adjudicate complaints in the workplace. Labor relations expert Danny Roberts has been engaged as a consultant to assist with the setting up of the tribunal and related matters.
We started a recruitment for the unit and we'll have some officers on board as of July 1.
At the same time, 200 organizations are being assisted by the Bureau of Gender Affairs to draft their sexual harassment workplace policies. She says her ministry has already started to receive complaints of sexual harassment and has been helping companies put the necessary mechanisms in place to respond to them.
We've also been conducting sensitization and awareness raising sessions with public and private sector organizations, NGOs, educational institutions, and other groups. This is not a simple matter, Madam Speaker. It is a serious crime. Unwanted sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and crude sexual behaviors affect quality of life by creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment. No one should endure that.
The landmark Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act 2021 was passed by Parliament last year. Cabinet has approved the establishment of legislative teams within all ministries to help make the process of developing government policies more streamlined. This is part of efforts by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs to strengthen inter-ministry collaboration and advance government's legislative agenda. The teams will include the relevant policy officers, legal officers, and senior officers at the level of Chief Technical Director, Principal Director, or Senior Director. Portfolio Minister Marlene Malahoo Fort made the disclosure during her contribution to the 2022-23 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
The aim is to improve operational efficiency, speed, and the quality of legislation promulgated, because the legislative process has been affected by delays, culminating in critical pieces of legislation neither being amended, repealed, and replaced, nor developed and subsequently passed in a timely manner.
She says her ministry and the Office of the Cabinet will also collaborate to support and monitor the legislative work program and implement strategies to close gaps identified.
We are cognizant that there are capacity gaps within the ministries, and if these gaps are not closed, the desired objective will not be achieved. In this regard, my ministry will partner with a MIND, that's a Management Institute of National Development, to provide training in policy development and the preparation of cabinet submissions.
She says going forward, all ministries will be required to work within settled timeframes. The Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs will also collaborate with the Office of the Cabinet to conduct sensitization sessions to improve the quality of cabinet submissions prepared by the ministries in respect of law reform proposals. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, is engaging in discussions with the commercial banking sector to reduce customers' risk of cyber attacks. The BOJ made the statement Monday in response to a recent fraud attack on customers from one of the country's largest commercial banks. The central bank stresses that despite financial institutions' use of robust technology systems, banking customers may still become victims of fraud. But the BOJ is imploring sector players to increase their vigilance. Part of that proactiveness is educating the public on ways to protect themselves and their money. The BOJ is also encouraging banking customers to check with their financial institutions and verify the legitimacy of any communication received through email, text message, or telephone before providing any personal information. And finally, the Ministry of Education and Youth will be providing additional training and tools to de-escalate violent confrontations in classrooms. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams made the announcement following the recent circulation of an online video depicting an altercation between the president of a school PTA and a student. Minister Williams says the video highlights the need for a radical shift in the relationship between teachers, students, and all who are within the school system. While condemning the instances of violence, the minister is calling on the education sector to redouble efforts to curb antisocial and maladaptive behavior by some students and stakeholders. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.